Never in the history of overthinking has anyone stopped overthinking because someone else told them to stop overthinking so much. Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the struggle that is overthinking. So if you find yourself trying to plan for every possible scenario, no matter how unlikely, or you worry about something forever and ever, even though there's nothing you can do about it, or if you spend hours wondering if you should have made that decision, then this video is for you. So let me just start off by saying something about overthinking and really any thought habit in general. Never in the history of overthinking has anyone stopped overthinking because someone else told them to stop overthinking so much. You can't just stop thinking about something. Basically, the whole effort of trying to not think about something means that you're actually thinking about that thing, which means that all of your effort is pointless. So let's talk about 5 methods that actually work instead of trying to fight this impossible, let me just not think about it fight. One of the best ways to stop overthinking is to challenge your thoughts. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Not everything you think is true. Now, it's hard to remember this because we live in our heads 24/7, 365, but just because you've had the same thought over and over again doesn't mean that it's true. There's this funny little thing going on in our brains where the more we read or hear about something, the more likely we are to believe that it's true. And that kind of follows through with something that you think about because basically you're hearing yourself say it over and over again. But just because you've overthought about it, now you've convinced yourself that your friend is mad at you, or you've spent hours coming up with all of these worst case scenarios for your interview tomorrow, doesn't mean that anything that you've been thinking about is real. And the worst part about all of it is that all of this overthinking has probably stressed you out and put you into your fight or flight response. This response is essentially sucking away your ability to make logical and rational decisions. Fight or flight floods your body with stress hormones that in the short term are actually supposed to save you. They make you better, faster, stronger in the short term. The idea is that it stresses you out, you get awesome superhero powers, you escape from whatever was attacking you, and then you calm the hell down. But when you're overthinking, you never calm down. This is also part of the reason that overthinking keeps you up at night, because it's pretty hard to fall asleep when you're low-key stressed out. That gives you the tired, wired response, which will make you feel utterly exhausted because you are physically drained, but your mind is on overload. And then what are you likely to do? Probably overthink some more. So the next time you find yourself going down that overthinking path, asking yourself what if or why questions, then it's time to challenge your thinking. Tell yourself no, you are not going down the overthinking path. And then here's the key, you need to do something else instead. Now, I know I just told you a minute ago that you cannot just stop overthinking, and you absolutely cannot just stop doing a thought habit. However, what you can do is basically put it off until you weaken the habit and replace it with something else. If you can consistently notice that you're overthinking and then stop it and do something else that's better for you and probably has a better reward, then you will be able to replace your overthinking habit with something that's healthier. While it would be great if you could literally get up and go do something else that's immersive, I understand that that's not always possible when you get into this place of overthinking. But what you can do is drag your brain, even if it's kicking and screaming, into the here and now. Overthinking basically comes in 2 flavors. Either you're ruminating about something that happened in the past, or you're worrying about something that might happen in the future. Either way, you're not living in the present, and so the easiest way to get your brain to change directions is to practice mindfulness. The simplest way to practice mindfulness is to just focus on your breathing. Bring your attention to slowly moving air in and out of your body. And the second that your brain snaps back into overthinking, because it probably will, especially in the beginning, then just release those thoughts and go back to focusing on your breathing. No judgment, no beating yourself up, just telling your brain, we are not doing that right now, we're focusing on breathing. The great thing about this, besides being an activity to get you to stop overthinking, is that breathing is a stress reliever. So basically, mindful breathing is the opposite of overthinking. So not only will it help divert your brain from overthinking, it will also help you calm down your stress hijacked brain so that you can get control of your rational thinking again. And if this doesn't work for you, then check out this video because it has a whole bunch of easy mindfulness activities for you to try instead. Another trick that you can use is to change the type of questions that you ask yourself. This is both a way to notice that you're overthinking and to turn it around. Overthinking is often brought on by a lot of what if type questions. What if I hadn't done that? What if he doesn't call me back? What if she's mad at me, etc. The lie we tell ourselves is that if I think about this long enough, I'll be able to figure it out. But you're probably missing some key pieces of information, which means that you will never really know the actual answer. So when you find yourself asking yourself a whole bunch of what if type questions, or you're wondering why something had to happen, then that's your clue that it's time to switch your questions around. Overthinking is not productive thinking. It's essentially just spinning your wheels and giving your brain something to do. Productive thinking is problem solving and it's goal oriented. So instead of thinking about what if, ask yourself, what can I do? Then if you ask yourself, what can I do? And you're able to come up with something that you could do, great. Stop overthinking and go do that thing. But what's more likely to happen is that you realize there's really nothing that you can do and that worrying and thinking about it isn't going to change the situation. That's your clue that it's time to drop it and to direct your thinking to something else. The next method is to switch your thinking from what could go wrong to what could go right. If you're overthinking a whole bunch of scenarios, it's not likely that you're dreaming up all of the awesome things that could happen. You're probably sliding down the slope into catastrophic thinking. Maybe you had a fight with your partner and now you're overthinking all of the things you should have said and coming up with a whole bunch of negative futures. What if they ghost you? What if they give you the silent treatment? Or what if they break up with you? See, there are all of those what if questions again. Now, while it might be harder to turn something like a fight around with positive thinking, so you might be better off using one of the other methods with a situation like that, we do tend to catastrophize. Is that a word? Overthinkers tend to do this catastrophic thinking thing with pretty much everything. Like, what if the interviewer hates me? Or what if I say something stupid on my first date? Instead of finding all of the things that could go wrong, what if you found some of the things that could go right instead? What if the interviewer loves you? Or what if the first date finds all of your quirks charming and endearing? When you find yourself trying to find every single scenario that could possibly go wrong, stop that line of thinking and spend your energy trying to find 3 things that could go right. And then focus on envisioning those 3 things happening instead of spending your energy overthinking about all of the negative stuff. Now, I said this earlier, but it bears repeating and explanation. The absolute best way to stop overthinking and worrying is to get up and physically do something else. Maybe you're already doing something right now, but whatever it is such a habit that it allows you the brain power to let your mind wander into that overthinking zone. Now would be a great time to pick up a new hobby that you really suck at. Obviously, it ought to be something you think you would enjoy, but also needs to be hard enough that it requires so much brain power that you don't have the ability to overthink and worry at the same time. Look at what you love to do now and then find something that's related. I love to knit, but I've been doing it for over a decade now and I don't even have to look at what I'm doing anymore. This is not a good thing for me to try to use to distract myself from overthinking because I could be knitting and overthinking at the same time. However, if I pick up a crochet hook, that's going to change everything because I straight up suck at crochet, and it will take every ounce of brain power that I have to figure out what the hell I'm doing. So go out and get yourself an activity that you suck at and work on it. You don't ever have to get good at it. We're not looking at creating a career here. Just looking for something that you enjoy, but that you're so bad at that you can't possibly overthink and do your activity at the same time. There you go, guys. 5 ways that you can kick your overthinking habit. Feel free to mix and match them until you find a system that works for you. Just remember, if it really is an overthinking habit, that it probably will take a little bit of time and energy to break the habit. But the energy that you put into breaking the habit is way more productive than what you would spend just overthinking things. And if you want more tips on how to deal with overthinking and worry, stay tuned to the end screen because I'll have a couple of videos up there for you. Before you go, don't forget to like this video. It really helps me get it in front of more people that need it. And if you want more videos about productivity, motivation, and stress relief, hit subscribe and then click on the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh. Fell off my chair. Every possible scenario. Why can't I say scenario? What? Is that a hard word? Scenario? Any sort of wow, this is gonna be a long day. Never in the history of overthinking has it's time to let those frustrations absolutely cannot just stop. Easy mindfulness activities. If you want some more tips on how to deal with overthinking and worrying, check out the top video here. And if you want help overcoming any kind of negative thought habit, click on the bottom video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.